New series called Money Tip Tuesday. I am here with my virtual CFO and a coach within my organization, helping my clients to deep dive into their finances when the time is right. Welcome, Megan Dolly, my virtual CFO.
Thank you. Thank you. We get to talk about my favorite things today.
I know, it's your favorite thing, but I kind of fall into this title of get your head out of the sand, even though I'm a business coach.
But you have been. You've been doing awesome.
I'm trying just for you. I understand the numbers, but I don't like doing the numbers. And actually, it feels monotonous and it feels tedious. And you were able to get my head out of the sand. And I do that for my clients, but I was having trouble doing it for myself, quite honestly.
Yeah, we're our own worst patient, right?
Always. All right, so help us out here. What's the first step in getting our head out of the sand when it comes to talking about money and our QuickBooks or our profit and loss statement and our balance sheet and all that? Ugh.
It's almost like the 5 stages of grief that you have to go through to get to acceptance that this is going to really help your business, right? Like I always talk about offense and defense of, offense being going out there and getting the sales, and the defense making sure that the cash is staying in your business. And part of that is knowing your numbers. But I'm so serious. When people accept that this is a vital part of their business, they are finally laying that foundation for this business that can be around for years to come, because you can look at things objectively. You know where you're at, and you can actually see down the road. You can see the future, right?
You can see the future. It's so true. And now with a lot of my one-on-one clients, the minute they got on with me in our calls, whether it's once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month, they're like, I know, you're going to ask me what's in my bank accounts, right? And because I want them to know at any given moment what they're dealing with when it comes to what they can spend and what they can't spend. And I find that when people first come to me, they are doing a lot of chasing shiny objects and but just buying anything they want to buy and using client money a lot of the time that's pending being sent for, furnishings or cost of goods. And they don't realize that they're running in a negative, and they're kind of what they call kiting, kind of one.
Yeah, that's the dirty word for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, this realization that what money belongs to me and what money doesn't belong to me. And you kind of nailed it when you said that they come sheepishly and like, you want to look at my bank accounts. It's almost like they're wearing this coat and they're feeling so exposed. This is the most vulnerable. And I haven't yet had a client that when we first start, they're like, oh, you're going to judge me, or, oh, it's going to be ugly. There is no judgment, because there's no judgment. Right.
I've been there. I mean, I have buried my head in the sand for a very long time prior to even the last 2 years. I started really coming out and going, okay, I know I'm making money, but how much am I making, and where is it all going, and how is it allocated? And I was just sort of running by the seat of my pants. And now to have a handle on it, it's empowering.
Yeah. So even going from I don't know what's mine, but this is what my family needs, and I feel guilty about taking this out of my business, to this is mine. I run this business. This is how it's serving me and my family. Even if you can, the difference between having your head in the sand and not seeing the train coming down the tracks that's going to knock you out of business, versus having your head out of the sand and seeing that train coming and being able to step out of the way, even if it's to buy yourself 2 more weeks. So,
yes.
And then at the end of the 2 weeks, you've been able to buy yourself 3 more weeks, and being able to extend that life of really being, of getting to your vision. Or even the train's going to hit, let's make this impact as soft as it's going to be, which that happens too. But the first step is just getting that head out of the sand and being able to see in a way that's not intimidating. That's not accounting language isn't written for business owners. It's not written for the layperson. Accounting language is written for accounting people.
Right. And I've had a lot of clients in the past where they say, you know what, my father is in charge of the books or my husband is in charge of the books and I don't really know. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. Right. We trust our spouses and we trust our family. But at the same time, you're the business owner and you have to understand your numbers because you're the one who wants to feel empowered to be able to make a decision and not have to check with somebody else. That I find to be a pretty prevalent issue. And then I often get in my initial consultations, I'm meeting with you to find out if I'm ready to hire somebody. So obviously for me to advise somebody, which I do, whether they're ready to hire someone, I need what do you want to hire them for? Let's go over what's going on in your business and what your pipeline is, but also what's in your bank accounts right now? What has your profit and loss been? And what's the run rate? And when they can't tell me, it's like, well, the wing and a prayer, right? I can't tell you to hire someone if I don't understand what you're dealing with in the numbers. And you should be able to eventually learn that yourself, which is one of the goals always with coaching, right? Is that they learn themselves. They don't want to be with us forever. We are teaching them what they need to know as business owners, as CEOs of their own company to make solid decisions.
Yeah. Part of that is like, what don't I know, but what don't I want to know? Like sometimes people just don't want to know because it's just more comfortable in this little bubble and they think things are going terribly out here and they wouldn't know what to do anyway. So it's this whole thing around the language and just let me work on what's working because this is what feels comfortable and safe. And this is the stuff that I can control. And so they don't even feel like they can control this part over here, this defensive side over here, because they don't understand the language of it. They don't get how it works together. It feels like it's going to be intimidating to learn it. And once we get in there and like, oh, this isn't hard. Oh, I can see how that works in my business. Then it's not that hefty of, I can't control it, so I don't even want to know anyway. It's like, oh, I can control that.
And that's why it's important to have someone to interpret the language, right? Because I think accounting language is intimidating. And a lot of creative people will go, well, that's not my superpower. This is my superpower. And it's just not the way my brain works. And honestly, it's such an excuse because not that you know it, and it's true, it's a little bit more of a strain for you possibly up front, but if you find the right person to explain it to you in a way that you can understand it, suddenly it's like, oh, it's not that hard at all. And it really isn't.
Right. It's not that hard. And you're going to see things. You're going to see things in your business that you never knew were things that you could that were visible.
Right. To make money and to show a profit, you can do it without understanding how you're doing it, but it's so much more rewarding to understand how you're doing it.
And you can make so much more money.
And you can make so much more money and have control of your own business.
Yeah, it's where the business savvy comes in. Like I always when I first meet people, I kind of bucket them in my head. Like, are they even organized? And once they're organized, do they understand what they're reading? And once they understand it, like, are they able to use this information in their business? So my brain just buckets people to where they belong. And I know how I can communicate with them. And so getting organized is just that first step of, is the information even in a format that you can use? Is it all just sitting in a bank statement somewhere and you're just checking the balance to see if, oh, I can use that, not really knowing what's coming down the road or not knowing if that money is even really yours or if it's the tax man's or the vendor's, to the phase of, okay, it's organized. I can see what belongs where now. Help me understand what this means for my business. Like, am I okay? Right. How long am I okay? And then we can answer, all right, let's be proactive on this. I know I'm okay for 2 months. I want to be okay for 6 months. How do I get there? What are the choices that I need to make? What's the little...
Right. And stop leaning on your, which I've done in the past, stop leaning on your accountant, stop leaning on your bookkeeper to know everything if you know nothing, right? Well, I have a bookkeeper. But I hear that all the time. Well, I have a bookkeeper and they give me the numbers. I'm like, yeah, but do you know if the numbers are right? And have you told them how you want your books to look and how you want your bank accounts set up? And have you told your accountant, regardless of how much they kick and scream, how you want your bank accounts set up?
Right.
And the answer is always no, because they don't know enough. So I get it. You know, we're here to tell you we get it. I know I have been there. Where I want to bury my head, even as a business coach. That doesn't mean I love numbers. I love sales. I love marketing. I love giving people the confidence to charge their worth. But when it comes to the nitty gritty of my QuickBooks, I want to bury my head in the sand too. But every step I take to learn more and more, it's empowering. And that's when I want to make sure everybody starts saying, I can do this. Even if it's in small baby steps, learning a little bit at a time, rather than it's not my cup of tea. It's not my superpower. Right. I want someone else to do it.
Nobody knows your business like you know your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so let me ask you this, Nancy, when you and I are sitting side by side and going through your books, is it nearly as painful as you would expect it, as you were anticipating?
No, that's why I love some of the programs that you have coming out. It's like, you know, first of all, you meet with my clients when they get to the right stage, my one-on-one clients, to get them I get their knowledge to a certain level, and then you take it even one deeper and you give them the tools they need to start planning better for their business. I said, and then you have this, are you still doing this whole little bookkeeping group? Mm-hmm. I love that idea. Tell everybody about that.
Okay, so what it is, it's a bookkeeping club. One of the things people hate, that they can't quite get a bookkeeper quite yet, and sometimes you shouldn't even have a bookkeeper, even if you can afford it, until you've had certain things. We'll talk about that another time. Mm-hmm. But it's a bookkeeping club. We meet for an hour every Friday. They get the accountability of, I know who's supposed to show up, and once you're in there, it's light. You get your questions answered. It's a co-working group where we can just sit. Everybody's working on their books. It's an appointment where you're getting it done. You're invoicing your clients. You're getting your banks reconciled. Like, what do I do next, Megan? I'll help you know what you need to do next. And without even having a bookkeeper, without having that expense, you get your books done weekly. It gets done, and it feels so good.
I love that. And you're there to answer any questions if they get stuck on something. So it's those baby steps you need to start taking responsibility for your own money. So stop burying your head in the sand. What happened to my text on the screen? It was there a second ago. Did I press a button? Oh, look at that. I must have pressed it. Didn't even know I did that. So yeah, get your head out of the sand. We're here. Okay, so this is Money Tip Tuesday. We're going to start doing this every Tuesday that we can, which will be most Tuesdays. And we're going to start covering topics related to your money, your QuickBooks, your bank accounts, little tips in bite-sized pieces. But we wanted to start today by saying the first step is always to get your head out of the sand, take a deep breath and go, you know what? It's about time that I took responsibility for my own money and didn't rely on someone else to do it completely without you even having the knowledge. Or if you're not relying on anyone and you're not doing it yourself, taking responsibility to start making that part of your business process.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
It's not going to hurt as nearly as bad as you think it's going to. In fact, it's
might hurt a little bit in the beginning, but it's not because it's hard. It's because it's all up here, right? I always say that it's all about mindset. Same as marketing, same as sales, your accounting and your books and your money. It's all about what you allow yourself to spend time paying attention to. And once you learn it, it becomes second nature and it's not painful anymore.
And it keeps the Alzheimer's away to learn something new.
That's right. That's right. And I could use that. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for joining us today. Share this broadcast if you found it to be helpful. If you have friends who are entrepreneurs, thank you, Megan Dolly, and tell them where they can find you. If besides in my group and on my page, they can always tag you. Tell them where they can find your website.
They can pop on over to Megan Dolly, MEGANDAHLE.com.
Excellent. Whoops. My monitors just all went out. I hope I didn't go out at the same
I
time.
see you.
Okay, good, because my computers are doing funky things. So everyone have a great Tuesday, and we will see you next Tuesday for Money Tip Tuesday. And all of these get stored in my membership site. So if you are not a member of my membership site, you may want to go over to nancyganzekaufer.com and sign up for that, where all hundreds of my PDFs and trainings are in easily searchable, which are great. So, all right, talk to everyone soon. Bye. Thanks, Megan.